Another app that I found useful, and I didn't know what to think about it when we started out, is Harvest Host. Harvest Host is a club. You join it, you pay, it might have been $80 or $90 a year. They've got maybe 2,500 members, and you're allowed to stay for one night at these member sites with no fees. You are expected to buy something while you're there, but other than that, there's no fees. These sites typically have no hookups at all. It's just giving you a safe place to stay. Well, it's an intriguing idea. So when I planned the Great River road trip in June, I made reservations all the way from here to the furthest north point that we went to, which was in the UP of Michigan. But coming back, I made no reservations. I was going to depend on Harvest Host and just see how it went. In other words, I was going to wing it coming back. And everything went fine. You log onto your app store, you buy the, you get the app, put it on your cell phone, and then when you start using it, this is what the app looks like. Once you open it up, that's what you see. You see their sites all over the country. I think I remember them having about 2,500 sites, but I'm not real sure about that. When you open the Harvest Host app, you can enter the location that you're going, the town or the campground. But if you enter the town, it'll show you all the Harvest Host sites in that area. And you can set the area when you get into it, like within a 25-mile radius or a 50-mile radius or whatever. So you can set that. You can tell the app that you want to look at parks, or you can tell the app that you want to look at where Harvest Host members happen to be. Let's see what else. I'll put in Bremen. And I'll set my radius at 50 miles, and I'll tell it to search. And it'll show me all of the RV host sites within 50 miles of Bremen. The host sites are made up of things like wineries, museums, farms, ranches, breweries, distillers, golf courses, places that have enough land to where they can conveniently host 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 campers a night. When you go to buy your membership, there's a regular membership, and then there's a membership that includes golf courses. So you can buy the regular, or you can upgrade it to the golf course package, and there are a lot of golf courses on the list. So I went ahead and upgraded mine to the golf course package. But so far I've only used it at a couple of places. As we were coming back from Michigan, I wanted to see the Amish territory in Indiana. So we used it in Shipshawana, Indiana, at the Minahoff. I call it a museum. It is a museum, and they run you through about an hour-long tour showing you the history of the Mennonites and the Amish people in this country and how they grew and spread and where they are. So that was really interesting. I wish we'd had more time there, but the center that we stayed at, it was a beautiful area, and in the back of the building, or in the back of the museum, they had a big parking lot, paved parking lot, and they let campers set up in that paved parking lot. We were the only ones there that night, so we set up in that parking lot, and of course it was level and flat, and it was a good place to stay. I'm not sure if I said this, but typically there's no hookups, and every once in a while you'll find a Harvest Host site that has hookups, and they usually charge for these sites. But the ones that are so-called free, there are no hookups, no water, no electricity, no sewer dumps. It's just a place to park. So you pretty much have to be self-contained. And of course I've got generators, I carry my own water, we've got our own black water tanks. We are self-contained. So it works out great for one night. Especially if you know the next night you're going to be at a site that has facilities where you can dump your tanks, fill up your fresh water tank. So we did stay at that one in Shipshewana, and it was fun. We enjoyed that. I wish I had more time to spend in that area. I saw restaurants I wanted to eat at. The other Harvest Host site that we stayed at was actually not on this trip. It was in Georgia, in Williamson, Georgia. It was at an airport called the Peach State Aerodrome. So they let us come, and they've got a great restaurant there. It's called Barnstormers. It's down close to Griffin, Georgia. Go there. It's a good restaurant. So they let us park our camper just about right next to the runway. So we went there and took Lincoln so he could see the planes land and take off for several hours. And we noticed while we were there, all these people that own planes, they would fly in for breakfast, they'd fly in for lunch, and they'd fly in for dinner. So you knew when the busy times were going to be as far as landing and takeoffs. That was fun. But Harvest Host, it can be very useful, just depending on what kind of trip you're making.